Hey guys, it's the Jeremy Lattis channel here, and today we're just going to have a little discussion about Avengers Age of Ultron. And right here I got James, he's in a lot of the Jeremy Lattis channel vids, as well as Josh Gill, he's been in a few. So I guess let's just start off the first question. What are your thoughts about, no, let's see, so it's been about 2 weeks since the movie came out. We saw it 2 weeks ago, right? And you know, let's see, what are our impressions of it?
What do you think?
My impression was it definitely was not as good as the first one.
Yeah, definitely not.
I would say so, yeah. It definitely, I think we could all agree it wasn't as good as the first one. I guess, well, let me just start off. Definitely, like, it didn't have that wow factor for me like the first one did. Like just, you know, yeah, the first one, yeah, maybe the storyline I think is still, it's good. It's not like the greatest, but it's still there's a flow.
It's a solid,
we can agree there's a flow to the movie.
It's good, like family fun action. Like it was what it was supposed to be for an Avengers movie, and it worked. I mean, it wasn't the greatest story. It was a solid movie.
It definitely worked. Yeah, it was fun, but it also was grounded, and it felt like, you know, you felt like what's the word? Like there was a connection with like the action and the story too, and what was going on.
Yeah.
And this one, it was missing that a lot. This one, definitely so many. Now, I guess we should just say first, we assume everybody watching this video has seen the movie, so
yeah, there's gonna be spoilers.
There will be spoilers, so whatever. It definitely just there was just so much going on. It felt like
It's definitely less concise than the first one. There's a lot of things that seemed like they didn't really add anything to the story that they just threw in there.
Yeah, but like a lot of things, there were many things I thought that they were going to explain or
like just the beginning of the movie. It's pretty cool, like the whole action sequence.
Yeah.
But it's just like, how are they all back together again? Like there was no explaining how they all got back together, and how they know about this Hydra base, and how they know this guy. What's his name? Von Strucker. Like they know about him and how he has Loki's staff. How do they know this?
It just rushes right into it. Like the movie just starts off. Everyone's back together. It doesn't address the end of Iron Man 3, which in a
not
way,
at all.
In a way, Marvel is in a way.
It's better that it didn't do that.
Right, but in a way, Marvel is saying
that movie was such a foul.
In a way, Marvel is saying, Iron Man 3 didn't happen. The end, you know. Because at the end, Tony
they just like completely exclude that movie.
At the end, Tony Stark is just like, you know.
Also the suits.
Right. At the end, you know, he blows up his suits. He kind of makes it. He gets the thing taken out of his chest like nothing, and it doesn't explain. Like, right, he just says, you know, he kind of stops being Iron Man, but then Age of Ultron starts, he's Iron Man, like, as if he's been all along, and he makes all these new Iron Man suits. Not only that, he makes all these other Avengers stuff, like, he has all, like, you know, like Captain America has a new suit, everybody, like...
And he made the whole Hulkbuster armor?
Yeah, it's like... So did he, like, that's what I mean.
So
like,
he was prepared for that whole thing?
I just would have liked to see things addressed more, like things, like, even like at the end of Winter Soldier, Cap, like he's really like focused on finding Bucky. They just kind of glance over that and then they just show him with the team again.
Yeah.
Like, where's Bruce, like, I just would have liked to see them, okay, like, this has happened, we need you, like Tony Stark could say, hey, we need this scepter, let's all just come together, like, I need you guys. It's almost...
Or even Cap, you know?
It's almost as if they just never, like, because at the end of the first movie, remember they say, how do we, when something like this happens again, when will we, how will we know they'll come back? And then they say they'll come back because we'll need them to.
Yeah.
Nothing really happened, like, for them to just say, hey, let's come back. They've just been together. What do you think, Josh, about that?
Yeah, there was no, like, introduction to the movie, really, from what I saw. They were just immediately in an action scene. They knew people wanted to see action right off the bat with the new movie.
Like, I feel like they could have spent at least maybe 15 minutes just getting them back together. Maybe.
Now I liked that scene, that sequence, but yeah, it's true. It's kind of like, And I thought, well, maybe they're just showing this now, and then later on in the movie they'll kind of go back to why they're together. But
yeah, and explain it, but they never did.
They don't. They don't. They're just there.
Yeah.
They never talk about Iron Man, like why he's Iron Man again. It's just as if they don't address it, which I don't mind because it's almost like Marvel's saying Iron Man 3, the end of it was awful, and we know that, so we're just gonna have him be Iron. But it just I think they should have at least addressed that, you know.
Also, the like you were saying about the Hulk armor and how the story, a lot of things aren't explained. The Hulk armor, at one point in the movie, when he needs it, when the Hulk is going on a rampage in the city, he just says something about like, "Oh, get the something or rather ready." And then all of a sudden it just falls out of the sky, and now he has Hulkbuster armor.
So he's had that ready the whole time?
Yeah.
Now, remember they referred to it as Veronica or something?
The Hulkbuster armor?
Or something, like...
That thing that was floating in the sky?
Yeah, like Bruce Banner said, or Tony was talking to Bruce Banner about Veronica, like, as if that was... I think that was that thing, remember, that came down and, like, trapped him, and he went under the ground and stuff? I think that was that.
What trapped him?
That Veronica thing, like as if the Hulk were ever to lose control and get in this rampage, this thing that he made would come down and trap him. Yeah, so when that happens, it traps the Hulk and he escapes. Remember, he was under the ground.
Yeah.
But then right after that, Tony calls his Hulkbuster armor. Like it just doesn't explain.
The Veronica trapped him.
Like, whatever that was, that thing trapped the Hulk. Remember, he was in it. And then he went under the ground and he escaped under the ground.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Right after that, that's when Tony gets his Hulk armor, but it's never explained like how he got it or when he built it. I mean, I guess it doesn't. I don't know. It just kind of takes it out of the scene, I guess. Or for me, it was just like, well, nothing is explained here. Like even that fight. What did you think of that? Because that was like a big.
That's
thing.
A big action scene.
That was a big build up for this movie. Like when you see the first trailer and you see the Hulkbuster armor and the Hulk are about to go at it, you're like, I cannot wait to see that on screen, right?
It seemed almost like a crowd pleaser to me. That seemed like something, like I was saying, like they had elements of the movie, like at the beginning of the movie, people wanted to see an action sequence just right off the bat, and so they were like, people are going to want to see action, so we're just going to intro them with action. And I feel like it was the same thing with the Hulk scene, like people are going to want a scene of a hero fighting another hero, and so we're just going to have this scene that comes out of nowhere in the movie, like, oh no, Hulk escaped, and then we're just going to have like 20 minutes of just pure action. It's almost just like a crowd pleaser.
Yeah,
so the reason why they were fighting was because Scarlet Witch had messed with Bruce Banner's mind or whatever.
Yeah.
But I felt like it would have been deeper than that. Like there was just oh, he's out of control, we have to stop him.
Right.
You would think there maybe they were fighting because there was some conflict between them. But it was just because Banner was under the influence of the witch.
Yeah, and we don't know what he was thinking, like...
Yeah, we don't, remember Tony's like, we don't know what the witch showed him or something.
Right, well yeah, but it just shows, I remember Scarlet Witch saying, I'll get the big guy, and then the next scene is just Bruce Banner changed into the Hulk. We don't see what she put in his head to make him change, he just changed.
And they showed all the other characters' visions,
all their visions.
Which also meant nothing to me. I watched the things and I was just like...
Yeah,
that's cool.
Let's talk about the dream sequences now. The first dream sequence is of Tony Stark. She does it to him, and he sees pretty much all of his Avengers. All of the Avengers are pretty much dying, dead or dying.
Yeah.
And you see Captain America's shield broken in half, and he's like, "You could have saved us and everything," and like they all die. Like that's his vision. So that's ultimately what makes Tony want to make this Ultron program, because he wants to protect that from ever happening. Which that's a whole we'll get into Ultron soon.
And then the second one was, what was the second one?
The second one, Thor. I believe, was well, they were all at the same time. Thor, he ends up seeing he was this vision on Asgard with that guy. What's his the
gatekeeper?
And it begins with
the Keymaster.
Yeah, and it just shows him like talking to Thor.
Oh, yeah, he's got these weird eyes.
You know, and like I kind of like didn't really know.
So
what
that
was
was like
going
a
on
vision
with
of the Ragnarok, which is going to be the third Thor movie.
there is a third Thor movie coming out called Ragnarok, and I'm really not familiar.
That might be a vision of that.
Possibly.
That's going to relate to that.
So he sees that, and then that makes Thor go on this later on in the movie, this other side
And we'll
quest,
get into that, which
trying
is kind of out of the blue.
trying to figure out what's going on. So that was his.
Oh, that's why he disappears for like half the movie?
Yeah.
In a way.
Because I think he goes to Asgard.
No, he doesn't.
No.
He goes to that Selvig.
He goes
doctor.
to the Selvig guy who didn't really even need to be.
Yeah,
But
I think
anyway.
he was just more of like a cameo.
So now,
just
now the next dream sequence was
it Caps? No, let's talk about
Black Widow. I honestly, all I know is I don't even remember hers.
No, I remember hers.
Like,
it was just kind of like a flashback to her past, like
she
was trained.
she was trained in. She's originally like supposed to be a Russian operative, isn't she?
Like a spy of some sort.
That was her being like trained to like kill, like have the kill instinct and be, like emotionless, basically, like a killing machine.
Yeah. So that was just kind of like some of her background.
Something we already knew, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we had an idea, but just kind of filling in the blanks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
then Caps.
Captain America's was
like he was just like in a ballroom or a dance room.
Well, it shows him. He goes back to the 1940s, and it shows him. He sees Peggy there, and I think that was just kind of showing. I guess he still misses her and wishes he could be with her, and I guess she was, so he saw that, which they didn't really ever go back to that after that. Like he just, Peggy's like, we can dance now or something, as if,
All those seem somewhat meaningless, like they were trying to fill in some information that we needed, but you didn't really, didn't really need it, we already knew all that information.
The one that they tried to make it seem the most meaningless besides Tony's was Thor's, I think.
Meaningless?
No, I mean meaningful, right?
Oh, meaningful.
Like they tried to make it seem like he saw this vision, which led to that Infinity Stone thing. Which led to Vision, which.
And now, do you want to get into that whole pool sequence?
The pool?
Like when he goes to that pool.
Okay, well, we talked about.
Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about
we talked about the dream sequences. Okay, well, what's
the pool?
Okay,
move on to something.
I think we should let's talk about Ultron here.
Okay, let's
talk about Ultron.
Origins of Ultron.
So, Tony's dream, pretty much, he sees it. Yeah. All right, Tony's dream, he sees it, and he. Pretty much this makes him, we need something more than us, the Avengers, to save the world.
Yeah.
Everything. So that's when he's like, all right, now this Ultron program. Now, I guess another thing, this Ultron program, was this already made before?
Yeah, I feel like him and Banner, weren't they already planning
They were planning it to make this Ultron program artificial intelligence, right? That's what it was. And because he got Loki's scepter, that he said now we have to bridge the gap to doing that.
No, they found out in the staff that the staff had an intelligence in itself. And so they were trying to base the artificial intelligence that they were going to make off the brain from the staff. Like the gem at the end of the staff had like a brain to it, basically.
Yeah.
And so they based Ultron off of that, and so Ultron was based off of it, and he took over the system. Like he took over what's his name? Jarvis.
Yeah.
He just hijacked the entire system of Tony Stark's place. And then later on they had Vision, who was supposed to be the actual stone itself. Like they took the stone out and put it on his head, and then he was was the stone.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like there's just so many things to talk about.
They shoved a lot of information into a small amount of time.
Yeah. Right. Now so back to Ultron. So Banner and Tony talk, and they say, okay, let's do this, right? So they do it, and within they show them. They show the time lapse, like they're in there working and. They're just so quick to doing it, and then they show Ultron's artificial intelligence come to life, and he's like, what's going on? Like immediately you hear, immediately you hear James Spader's voice talking.
Yeah.
And then Jarvis is like, "Hello, I'm Jarvis." And
they're, like, talking and stuff.
And then immediately Ultron's like, "Wait, what is this?" And then they show him like his artificial intelligence like going and kind of
like almost like kill Jarvis.
Yeah, in a way it looked like he did something to him, right?
Yeah,
which seems almost meaningless because they're like programs.
I thought that they were.
Yeah, I just want to say like, so Tony programmed Ultron to save the world, but it's like immediately Ultron's evil. Like what's up with that?
Well, that's what I was talking about. I thought Ultron at first was going to be like, yeah, this is what I should do.
You would think there would be some sort of realization with him, like, well, maybe the only way to save humanity is to, or save the world is to destroy it or something.
Well, right.
Or whatever he thinks. It's like you would think he would come to a realization after a period of time, but not like, oh, immediately. You know?
Right. It's almost like there should have been like at first, like there was no development with his character at all.
Yeah.
He's just immediately okay. Wait a minute, and then he ends up destroying Jarvis, right?
Also, like we were talking about a lot earlier, there's not much development of his character, and his personality seemed to be loosely based around Joker's personality from The Dark Knight.
His personality,
like they stole some elements from Joker's,
they made
Havoc,
him
an anarchy-loving personality.
They made him more of the joke-telling villain and like one-liner villain than I thought. I thought they were gonna go the more like
intelligent,
like darker. Like he was like more of a like he was serious. He wasn't He wasn't funny. Like he was funny in this. Like, I thought he was going to be intimidating. He wasn't intimidating.
I didn't feel that, like, his appearance is intimidating, but, like, his personality just wasn't.
His personality was, like, a really, like, jokey...
Yeah. It was.
You would think he would just be straight out, just, like firm and just, like, fierce. Like,
what purpose does a robot have to joke? If a robot was going to... want to destroy the Earth.
Well, people are like, oh, he has Tony Stark.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I think.
Oh, it took from his personality.
They tried to make it seem like he became from Tony Stark, which they really just need to stop putting so much emphasis on Tony Stark's character.
Once again, he was really the main focus, kind of like the main character.
Yeah, he was, which I wasn't surprised.
It was pretty much like his.
He is the main star of the whole universe, I guess.
Pretty much. I guess he's the most popular.
But anyway, with Ultron again, you know. I should say this movie, they just rushed into so many things because...
There's no development of, like, his evilness.
Right, well...
No development of his actual physical form.
Okay, so let's get to the part after he, like, kind of takes out Jarvis. You got that whole part... Did you like that whole party scene where everybody was there? The Avengers... Or before that, like, it's all the Avengers were there talking and they were lifting Thor's hammer. I liked... that.
I didn't mind that.
I do like all the characters for the most part.
Yeah, I didn't mind that.
I liked how it seemed like a normal, everyday situation.
You see Falcon in there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I guess we're not. How's that missing person report going?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, well you're with the Avengers and all this stuff, talking to Cap about it." But okay, then the part when Ultron comes out, he's in like the old Iron Man beat up armor, and he's like, "How could you be worthy?" And he right away he seems okay. Like I'm watching him, like he seems pretty like he could be pretty scary.
Yeah, he seems intimidating,
like a good villain, right? And then so that happens. I like that scene where like everybody's like they're trying to stop him, and he has the other ones go through the doors or whatever, and then they end up taking them out, and then Thor throws his hammer at the main Ultron one, and it kind of.
Pretty much destroys him.
It destroys him.
Yeah, but then it's like he immediately goes to.
Well, it's because he was like uploaded to the internet or something.
So he was uploaded to the internet.
So he wasn't like actually killed.
How was he uploaded to the internet?
Okay, so he was uploaded to the internet because he just hacked. He's such a powerful program that he hacked Jarvis, and then he hacked like the internet too, which they never go back to reference. They never go back to reference that. Like they say, like we need to delete his connection to the internet, but like he hadn't done anything on the internet. Like he had control of the entire world's technology, and he didn't use that for any purpose.
Yeah.
Like he didn't.
Like, you feel
they
like
even said he could even launch the warheads. We gotta warn them not to launch the warheads.
Nuclear, right? The nuclear.
But
Did you tell the entire country to just take the warheads? Like,
I know.
Did that get forgotten?
yeah, that got completely forgotten. I think
there was no
nobody,
like the Avengers
You
never
feel
went
like
to the military or anything.
He could have easily used so many things to his advantage. Like if he could have hacked the internet and all that, like hacked warheads.
Yeah.
Like and you would think maybe he would address himself to the world too. Like he never addressed.
Yeah, he didn't say the world. Yeah,
he never made himself a world threat.
At least in Bane, the Dark Knight Rises, Bane made him like told everybody what.
Yeah, he told me like Gotham.
It's almost like
world.
You never felt like the threat of Ultron out in the world.
It never felt like an Age of Ultron. That's the name of the movie.
Right.
It didn't feel like
you thought it was going to be this actual like people. Oh, this Ultron. It's almost like people could have been like, "Who's Ultron?" Like.
Yeah,
like, yeah. Oh, some dude in Russia blew up some land or lifted some land in the air.
Yeah, at least with the first, at least with the first one, Loki, he attacked New York, so people, like the whole world probably knew that was happening.
Yeah.
They heard about it, like happening, but like at the end with like Ultron.
And then with Ultron too, like after it's uploaded to the internet, he immediately, the next time you see him, he's already in his full-bodied suit. Like his armor, it's like
they did not explain.
They don't. Where did he get it from? How did he make it? Like how did he make this robot body he has? He's just in it.
And was it vibranium? His first.
I don't think.
And he upgraded it at one point. He upgraded from like this like normal like Iron Man modded suit to like the full Ultron.
Well, that's
body.
what I mean. Like he just went from that to that like nothing. Like he didn't show him do that. Like I would have liked to see him in this Iron Man suit. Then he goes to another suit. Then maybe another one. Then it's like, okay, here's like the final product. But they just had him. He's in the final product. Like they just rushed it. They rushed it.
Constantly making references as well to Ultron's building his army. Ultron's building his army.
How did he build his army?
But it's only in the background. It's only either a reference to them. He's building his army. Or it's him saying something to like Quicksilver or Scarlet Witch, and in the background you see some of his people like putting some vague thing together. Like I guess that could be his army being built, but you don't really see an army being built ever. They don't even show you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you just don't know. Like I would have liked it. Now I do know that this movie. The amount of footage that they originally had was over 3 hours long. Like they cut it to like 2 hours and 20 minutes. So it is possible with all this extra footage they had, they could have explained those things, or they could have shown some of those things. So Ultron overall, I didn't like him as I thought he was going to be an actual great villain in the Marvel universe, and it turns out he really wasn't. Now, I don't know at the end, did he die at the end? Was he supposed to have died?
I guess so, but technically...
They didn't show it.
Like, here's the deal. Like, remember when he does crash the party and Thor destroys him, whatever?
Yeah.
And he somehow uploads himself to a new body?
Right.
And then, at the end, they destroy him and all his robots, but couldn't he just upload himself to a new body again or something? Like,
I don't know.
Unless they deleted him off the internet somehow.
No, at one point they did say that they disconnected his connection... To the internet because like Jarvis was back and everything.
So since they were able to destroy all the robots, that was the end of them.
Mm-hmm. And so, at the very end, Vision just finishes the very last creation.
And I guess too, like Ultron and his army of robots, they don't seem at all like a big threat.
No, not at all. They fall apart.
Like never once do the Avengers like you feel like they're like there's no tension. There's no sense of like
literally Scarlet, the Black Widow. I almost said Scarlet Widow.
Yeah.
Black Widow at one point is shooting them with like a normal gun, and it's just shattering them to pieces. Like if that can, why don't they just get the normal U.S. army to take care of this?
Were they made out of vibranium too?
I don't know. That's the problem. Because Ultron's like the most versatile metal, and they use it to make a frisbee, whatever. Yeah, so he makes his army with vibranium, but how come they're destroyed so easily?
I don't know.
Cap's shield is made of vibranium, and that's not destroyed easily.
Well, right.
But these robots are being destroyed like
nothing. They're just being destroyed like nothing. And like once again, I really thought this movie was going to make the Avengers it was gonna like beat them up and like they were gonna go through all this stuff, but they really never did.
But yeah, it didn't seem like they were like struggling, like there was tension, or either they were torn apart or like divided. It didn't really feel like that.
No,
it didn't feel like there was much conflict. Like
right,
they were struggling.
There wasn't, and
it just like that's I don't know.
At one point in the movie, it seems like Ultron had an advantage over them, like because he had Scarlet Witch who like put the like the trance on a couple of the members of the team. But as soon as they like retreat and regroup, none of them have the trance anymore. They're immediately like she doesn't have a hold over their mind anymore immediately as they leave. So
yeah, you feel like they'd be kind of like haunted.
Yeah.
So that's Ultron.
And you feel like the battle between Iron Man and Hulk definitely would have caused some problems or like some kind of like, you know, issues within the Avengers. Like maybe Tony and Bruce would kind of feel a little bit hard, like they would have hard feelings toward each other maybe a little bit.
I thought there was going to definitely be more of a conflict between that fight, but there really wasn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all right, so that's what we
about the new?
That's what we thought of Ultron. Yeah, what do you think of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver?
Me and Jimmy were actually talking earlier about it. We were talking about because they don't have the rights to the X-Men movies. They had to say that they couldn't say they were mutants. They had to say that they were enhanced.
Right. I already knew that.
But the thing is, they were making mention to the fact that what was his name? Strucker.
Yeah.
That Strucker had been doing experiments on them, and that's why they had superpowers.
Yeah.
But that's not how it is in the X-Men. In X-Men, they are just superheroes, but they wanted to make it so in like the Marvel universe, like nobody actually has like superpowers. Like if they're either a robot or they have like a genetic, like a man-made mutation, or they have like some form of armor.
It's not like they were
technology.
naturally like born that way.
Yeah.
Like because they're supposed to be mutants, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to be mutants, but like they didn't want to like have normal heroes that are just normal superheroes.
Yeah, I mean, but personally,
somehow like they were able to use Loki's scepter to turn them into that somehow.
Apparently, well then they didn't really explain it. Like,
so even their origins, like I almost feel like they weren't even necessary.
Big question mark over both of them. But what about Vision?
Vision,
I honestly
like I was just confused about his origins too. Like how was he made, kind of?
He was supposed to be the new body for Ultron, like the physical form for Ultron.
Yeah.
But Ultron, he was, because he's supposed to be like a human body.
Yeah.
But has like the mind uploaded into him of Ultron.
Okay.
Which doesn't make any sense because in the original comics, Vision was just supposed to be a robot. Like he's not supposed to be like a human body with a robot's mind function.
I mean, Vision now. Other reviews that I've seen, they said Vision was like, oh, he was spot on in this. He was great. Like, I mean, I don't really know much about him.
He's one of my favorite heroes.
I don't really know much about him, so but I
thought it was very lame.
You thought he was lame?
Very lame.
I mean, I personally honestly, I don't. It's like I don't really remember what Vision did in the movie except at the end and when
he uses his powers
when he was created. Like I remember that part when Thor comes in with the lightning and makes him stand up and.
Oh, you mean like Vision, Thor, Iron Man all shooting their lasers and lightning at
Yeah,
him?
or I remember that. No, I remember like when.
Oh, you mean when he picks up Thor's hammer, kind of?
Yeah, I remember he. No. Yeah, well, that's another thing. How did he pick up Thor's hammer?
That was completely unexplained.
Like,
yeah, it felt like it was a reference.
It's so because he's super good.
Maybe it's because he had the Infinity Stone. Maybe that's why. That probably has something to do with it.
It could be because it definitely could be because he has the Infinity Stone, or it could be a reference because in the comics, there was always supposed to be like some sort of like. Most of the heroes have some sort of like drama going on, or they have some sort of like darker past or side. But he was supposed to be like one of the Avengers who's completely like. He's just supposed to be completely noble, like he doesn't have like a single like evil intention.
Really? Okay. Yeah, but so I mean, I thought he was, okay, but I wasn't like
Like
Wow,
I remember,
Vision is.
I remember you were
Yeah,
saying, doesn't he have like way more powers than they showed in the movie or
He
something?
does. He does. He has the ability to see through any object, shoot lasers out of his eyes. He can go through any object. He has super strength, and he can fly. So I mean, they showed flying.
They showed lasers out of his like
lasers
forehead.
out of his forehead.
I remember
which didn't come out of his eye. It's supposed to come out of his eyes.
Well, it came out of the
Infinity Infinity Stone, which I thought was kind of lame.
And then, like you said, how
shooting a laser off his forehead.
he could go through walls and crap.
Yeah, he
They
went
never-
through one guy.
All they showed, I remember relating to that was like he stuck his arm through a robot or whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
but he only
punched
used
through
each
a
power
robot.
one time.
But like he can walk through any material, right?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well,
Like he can walk through like a building.
We're gonna
through a
see
wall.
more Vision in the new movies coming up
In
too.
Civil War. I assume.
Yeah, he'll be
Yeah.
in that and probably Avengers 3.
Oh, what about the? I completely forgot about this too. What about the death of Quicksilver?
Oh.
Honestly, I didn't. I was kind of like,
I didn't really care.
What did you?
I didn't really care.
What did you think about? I mean, I was when I saw when he died, I wasn't like, oh, I was just like.
I felt like it was probably
okay.
one of the most emotional points of the movie, but still,
It was, but
I thought about it afterwards, and I was like, I thought that character was annoying.
it's almost
so I
like
was kinda happy.
I'll be honest with you, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, I really like didn't. I kind of like would have rather them not been in the movie.
Yeah.
You know, I think you still should have had the same 6 Avengers in it, and then maybe you can add Vision and make him better,
There you go.
give him more time in it. But
Yeah.
it was,
Or maybe get
It
the
wasn't-
rights to Spider-Man and Wolverine.
yeah. Well, they
It-
do have Spider-Man, but in a way, this movie was the same kind of recycled plot from the first movie. Like, I mean, the first Avengers, like.
Someone builds an army or gets an army.
Yeah, like you know,
Have enough.
I don't know, and they but then it wasn't as like you know you have where Ultron like it's Loki's building this army and he's trying to do all this, but this one just felt so much more rushed and they didn't.
Yeah.
It just a lot of things weren't explained and
Definitely not as memorable as the first.
No,
Well, people say, oh, well, this is the sequel, so you can't expect it to be like the first one, because the first one was like all magical because it's the first time we've seen all these characters together.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
But like the thing is, no, but I still feel like that's a kind of an excuse, because it's just like, you know, this movie tried to be kind of like the same deal with like the fun and the jokes and stuff. It didn't feel serious. It didn't have that dark tone that was advertised in the trailers.
No, it didn't. It was there was a lot of jokes in it. A lot.
Yeah.
It was funny and.
If this was more of a serious film and unlike the first one, it would have been better.
I just don't like it when trailers do that, when they portray the movie that like it's going to be this kind of a movie, and then it's not. You know, like that first trailer was really great because you could feel the tension, but you felt more tension or whatever. You just felt more like invested in it in that trailer than the movie.
Yeah.
Because the movie was all funny and I know, and you know what, I know what they're thinking, because this is an Avengers movie. They know so many people are gonna go see it. All the kids are gonna go see it. All the adults, parents. So they want to make it, you know, like
Most people also don't really know anything about the Avengers like to begin with.
right,
So they're just going to see a superhero movie.
right.
Yeah, just fun.
They want to make it fun for everybody. So
Yeah.
now that's why like movies like Winter Soldier were more darker, because they realize, okay, we're not drawing to everybody's audience, you know. Like,
Yeah.
Just the
Like-
Captain America audience.
right. It's almost like with this one, everybody's going to see this, so we need to make sure everybody likes this because they want the money.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's an Avengers movie. You gotta have comedy. Of
yeah,
course.
but
like
it
I
was
feel like
still
there was
over-
still too much. Though.
overdone.
Yeah.
I guess
And sometimes it just didn't work. It wasn't that funny.
yeah.
Like there's a lot of stupid jokes, and the one just like with Cap with the language.
Yeah,
I thought it was funny at first, but it just continued throughout the
Yeah,
whole movie.
they kept bringing it up throughout the whole
It's just
movie,
like,
and it's like
bro,
It's just come on,
bro,
like,
that
really,
joke
it's,
is old.
It's getting lame now
You know?
at this point. And then Nick Fury's in it for like
yeah,
just
even
kind of
his-
pointless.
Even his appearance was just like.
It was just random
Nick
too.
Nick Fury
Okay.
comes in to say some Nick Fury isms.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
I believe
I
that
guess-
this world
but
was
let-
built around the Avengers, like something like that.
yeah. Let's get into other things about the movie that were just kind of like, what? Okay,
Like
so
the whole Thor thing. The
okay,
dream.
so this
Oh, the
right.
pool,
Let's
right.
get into the whole the
pool.
whole Thor
The pool.
thing was just. So there's things I need to find out. So he goes and he sees that Selvig guy.
Yeah.
And then they end up just going to this that
random cave.
That
Seriously? Whatever.
that whole they go to the no.
I'm gonna swing my hammer.
They go to the cave, but it's like a water hole, and he goes, "Where is that?
Where was that? If that, why is that on Earth?
Like I don't know
what is that cave?
I still don't remember like what he was trying to like. So he ends up seeing this vision of like the atmosphere.
He needed to like see the vision again, like the dream that he saw. He needed to see it again.
Of the Infinity Stone.
Yeah.
And the doctor's like, many men have died from this, and we're all just like,
what is this?
Thor's not gonna die from this. Why'd you even say that?
And he's a god, yeah. He's like, he's not gonna die. We know he's not gonna die.
Like, we know Thor is not just gonna randomly die in the middle of the movie from a pool of water.
I don't imagine that. Imagine he just died from that.
But it was just like, it was so random, and then they just show when they're making Vision, then they show Thor coming back. Like you know how they're. I guess
there was some conflict in that scene.
I guess the conflict in the movie was when the Cap's like, "No, don't. You're not going to do that." And then Tony and Banner were like, "No, we are." And then they were like kind of going at it a little bit.
Because they're like, if you make this guy, it's just going to start all over again.
And then Thor comes out of nowhere, goes in with the lightning, and it kind of makes the Infinity Stone go, and Vision comes out, and
because Thor saw like we need him or something.
Because the Avengers had disconnected to the power for the process of bringing Vision back, and Thor came in and powered it with lightning.
Yeah.
Okay,
so then the next thing that was just like, what is the romance between Bruce and Black Widow?
I could not stand that. I could not stand that.
That did not need to be in the movie.
It's like, why? Why
it
did
just
they do
came
that?
out of nowhere.
It did come out. It was so forced. It was
like it was stupid.
Like like in 3 different movies now.
They're appealing to like the lovey-dovey crowd though.
The
people that want to go see the romance movie, but they also want to like go see their boyfriends.
There was no romance in the first Avengers though.
Yeah. I guess there was some sort of relationship, but not a romantic relationship between them.
There was a Pepper, right?
Yeah, but
Pepper
that was already established. That they were already together.
They just want there to be at least one relationship.
Yeah, but this one was like,
I feel like
they were like, oh, should we not? Like, oh, but
I almost feel like how there was a whole lullaby thing, like she would have to calm him down.
Yeah.
I feel like so they have this understanding of each other, and maybe they're friends, but I never thought it'd be like a romance relationship. It just didn't work.
Also,
I didn't buy it.
In the original movie, somewhere in the original movie, Bruce Banner gains the ability to control himself as the Hulk.
Right.
What happened to that? now he doesn't have the control of the Hulk anymore.
I thought he could... Bring up your point about... What's her name? Elizabeth Ross? Right?
Oh yeah.
Betty Ross.
Betty.
What happened to
Bruce
Betty?
Banner not care about her anymore?
I know. Like,
that's the thing.
That's what I mean. A lot of these things aren't addressed.
They want to reference the lore of Avengers, but they also want to make like a lot of their own lore for like... They want to have like a relationship between Hulk and Black Widow, but they don't want to reference the fact that Betty exists or like that someone else exists.
I almost feel like they almost kind of ignore the Incredible Hulk that came out in 2008 because it's Edward Norton. It's not Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, that's true. I guess.
So it's almost as if like that movie just kind of doesn't. It's there but not almost.
I like that movie though.
Yeah,
the one with Ed Norton.
I think it's one of the
things like that. Like I don't know, Betty Ross. It's like whatever happened.
It's almost as if like we're not going to make a solo film for Mark Ruffalo. So
also there was no reference to the romance between. They could have had a romance that made actual sense. If they brought Vision around a little bit earlier in the movie, and they had his romance with the Scarlet Witch, because that's how it is in the comics.
Oh yeah?
They probably wouldn't have done
that. Yeah, that would have been just weird, though, I think.
Yeah, because the way that they built their characters, what kind of, like...
Yeah.
How can they relate? How can a witch and a robot guy relate?
But, that was just so weird, and just was, like, so unexpected. I guess in the trailers they kind of showed it like that they could have some kind of a romance, but it just when you watch the movie, it's like they just don't do a good job.
Too many things just.
And then the other big thing that was just kind of was the whole when they went to Hawkeye's farm, and he has the house and like Hawkeye just has a family.
I was keeping it off the radar.
You know, in the first Avengers, they made it seem like Black Widow and him had a thing.
Honestly, if they had just taken everything out of the movie and just made it Hawkeye versus Ultron, I probably would have enjoyed that more.
Think so?
Because
I mean, they definitely made Hawkeye more of a... They had him a lot in this.
I feel like,
They
though...
focused a lot
Yeah,
on
they
him.
definitely focused a lot on him. But I almost feel like his fighting in the movie, like, I almost just didn't really see much of his fighting. You know what I'm saying? Just him shooting people with his arrows. I mean, you saw it, but it was just better in the first Avengers.
I remember...
Like, when he just...
when
was
he's like shooting someone.
Yeah, in the first event, like they showed him up close and
Oh, yeah, and he
showed the arrow. They didn't really do that at all.
Yeah, they didn't do that. I mean, I feel like I just liked his fighting in Avengers.
I remember there was a line he says in the movie. He says, you know, we're all out here. There's all these robots. None of it makes sense.
He's like, I got a bow.
Yeah, I got a
That
bow.
was like
arrow.
a fourth wall break. I like that. He was like, nothing in this movie makes sense.
Yeah, but it's
And
funny.
like, yeah, you're right.
It's funny
nothing makes
because
sense.
like somebody had said in a review, yeah, you're right, because we don't know what's going on. Like nobody knows what's going on with this
Yeah,
plot.
in that degree, it doesn't make sense.
So that was
Yeah.
funny, but like,
Nobody knows what's going
so
on.
those were the scenes that were just kind of like, what, and like was just kind of.
Oh, yeah. Just one thing, though.
Because while they're on this ranch, they're all like just like talking. Like, so Ultron's out there right now, like
Killing people, probably,
Yeah.
maybe. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, like, I guess so they all come back, they need to, like, recuperate whatever.
It
at his
seemed
farm.
more like a kind of like a detective, like the Avengers searches for a way to beat Ultron, and then they come together at the end having discovered nothing, and it turns out they destroyed Ultron with almost no effort.
even like I even
You
thought.
just, oh yeah, you just didn't feel like the Avengers were getting beat.
No,
You never felt like they were getting their butts.
Well, that's what I
kicked.
mean. I thought like at the last. I thought at least, well, hopefully the last climax battle would be good. But then I didn't really like the whole thing of the ground.
The ground's
yeah,
lifting up,
like the whole town lifting up into the air.
and it's gonna turn to a
And
giant
it was
comet.
just going to turn into a meteor and go down. I just like I didn't.
What does Ultron have to gain from this?
You know,
I don't know.
I would-
Ultron would have just be destroying himself if he destroys the
I
Earth.
honestly, I would have just rather.
Yeah, like that, he wants to wipe out humanity. He doesn't want to wipe out like the Earth, though. Right?
Yeah, but then he tries wiping out the Earth.
You know
Yeah.
what? I would have rather seen. Now, do you remember one of the clip arts for the movie? You see all the Avengers, and you have these thousands of like robots everywhere.
Yeah,
Like, I would have rather had just been this huge battle at the end
they're just being swarmed.
with all of these robots, just like a whole like
Instead of
Thousands.
just like maybe like 3 robots per.
yeah.
Like every once in a while,
Like
like 3
people-
robots will come in and
Because they
they'll
made
get
it seem
killed.
like they were
and then 3
swarming
robots.
around them. They were everywhere.
Like I thought of it like a Lord of the Rings battle. You know, they're just surrounded by orcs, just chopping everything. Maybe
Yeah.
like that.
I
type
would
of
I
thing.
would have rather had Ultron just made this thousands of army to destroy everybody instead of like this comet thing. You know, and then you have this just battle going on for like a half hour with the Avengers fighting all these guys, and it's just so intense and so gritty, and
Yeah, yeah.
But that it wasn't like
that would have been so much better because that's kind of like when you see that picture, and I know you've seen it.
Yeah, have you seen it? Like
Yeah, I saw it.
Like-
Where like Hulk has him like all
Yeah,
clean.
like it looks like there's thousands of these things, and like how are they ever gonna defeat them? And when you watch the movie, there's hardly any as much as they show, and it's
Yeah.
like and they're all just beating them all like nothing, and
Yeah.
I just would have rather had seen
The
like
first one was definitely more. I almost was like on edge in the first one when I saw him go through the wormhole to like drop the nuke. I thought like I didn't think that Tony Stark was gonna die
no, I didn't
because
either. I just
obviously they want him to be in the Avengers, but like I figured like maybe he'd get lost for a little while and then come back a little bit later or something like that.
It's almost like this was the first movie, right? Instead of Age of Ultron going up one, it went down, and
Yeah.
but so I would have rather had like Ultron made thousands of robots to destroy the Earth than just make this big comet like because it kind of takes away from what you really want to see, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a,
Just
there's a
Ultron
time
fighting.
limit.
Mm.
There's a time limit. Like, oh, they have to do it before this has happened. So you know, it's like there's nothing. It's so like, okay, we know what's gonna happen. You know.
Also, what fans want to see is like they want to see the leader has more abilities than like his average peon soldier that he has. But in the movie, there's no difference. They're in the same exact kind of robot body, only he has a little slightly more red face.
Even the way Ultron,
he doesn't have like extra guns.
I feel
or
like
anything.
Ultron himself really didn't seem like he was that powerful.
he wasn't.
Like Iron Man beat him when they fought a little bit.
Everybody did. Everybody
Almost
beat him.
Like he fought Cap for a while, but he wasn't able to like.
You know, Cap was
fighting
fighting
him
well
off.
against them. Like they're right. It's almost like there was just no.
Like he didn't.
Real
Like what was his actual power?
He didn't feel like a threat.
I don't know.
He did.
Like he could fly. He's made out of vibranium. He can shoot lasers, right? But
Yeah.
what else? Like I mean,
He shot lasers.
yeah.
Where, like out of his hands.
Yeah,
I'm assuming
something
just
like
like.
he
something
just
like that,
he
yeah.
just didn't come off as much of a threat
I
that
didn't
I
feel-
thought he would.
I didn't feel like he was just really, really powerful. Like I feel like, he's the type of guy who could just like, wipe the floor with the Avengers.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I thought, and I'm like, how are they ever going to beat this guy? Even like before the trailers, I'm like, how are they ever going to beat him?
It didn't feel like that.
When they're playing like when you watch the trailer and they're playing like depressing music and it's all
Yeah.
like the Avengers looking real worried or like a little bit scarred up.
Yeah,
And then you watch the movie and it's just like they're having like a field day. Like,
Pretty
oh look at
much,
this guy.
yeah.
But it's almost like before going into the movie, I just sensed because it's not like I was really like I can't wait to see this movie.
Yeah.
I mean I did. I was like I can't wait.
I was like
That
that with the
couldn't-
first trailer.
Yeah, but then after that, I'm
couldn't
like
match the hype.
there was just something
Yeah, it
like
didn't match
in
the
me
hype.
that was saying I don't know. I just have a feeling this. I don't know how it's gonna be. Like I was like uncertain about it, and then after watching, I'm like, okay, like it really wasn't. It didn't live up to what it should have.
Too
been.
much lore reference without explaining it.
Now I think a lot of people did love the movie. Now I guess what are some reasons why you think people loved it? I mean,
I think because they were appealing to people who hadn't. I feel like they hadn't like seen.
probably any of the other movies.
Any of the other
except
movies.
Avengers 1 probably.
They were hoping
And Iron Man
and crossing
3.
their fingers.
They probably watched Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3.
which was the
Yep.
worst one.
They were hoping and crossing their fingers that nobody had seen any of the other movies because they have all these
Yeah.
cliffhangers that make no sense.
Right, because if you think about it, if you watch Avengers 2 now, if you watch it, you don't have to watch any of the other ones. Not even Avengers
Not
1.
really, no.
You don't have to watch any of the other movies. Like they
Right.
just go into every. I mean, maybe you might be like, well, what's he talking about? Because they could have been referring to another movie.
But the problem is, even if you have seen the other movies, you're still lost.
Yeah.
There's just way too much going on.
yeah, so it's like
Overall, step backwards.
Well, anyway, let me just get like okay.
How about the ending? Just like where everything leaves off.
Well, let me just talk about the action a little bit.
Okay,
now,
the action.
now, I guess the action, even the action, like a lot of it, I wasn't like really.
I mean, there was a lot of action,
Yeah, there was.
but it just didn't
So
really.
what stood out?
feel
It's like what stood
like-
out to you as the best action?
Best
in the
action?
movie.
Honestly, I thought the best action sequence was probably the intro action
I
sequence.
think so
Pro-
too.
yeah,
I think
would-
that was
I
the
would say
best
that was
one.
probably the best.
Because you do show each Avenger do their own separate thing, which was pretty.
They
cool.
do some cool stuff too, like Captain America. I remember he uses a dude's motorcycle like as a weapon or
yeah,
something
his
like that.
motorcycle.
He
yeah.
throws his motor. That
he
was
throws his
cool.
own
I like
motorcycle.
that, and they definitely made Captain America more the leader in this too, which
Mhm.
was better. And he did a lot more. But I don't know, but just a lot of the action was just kind of like. It wasn't like I don't know. I'm trying to think of the word like.
It didn't.
It's not
It was
like
kind of hectic. It was hard to see some of the things because they were happening. So
Yeah, but it's not like it had any like emotional weight to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
And
you're just watching it.
It didn't.
Okay, like this is action, yay.
It didn't have that grit, or
No.
it didn't have that like, almost like like sometimes like maybe Thor's hitting a guy, you can like feel it, or like Cap's hitting someone with his shield, you could almost like feel like
It
him
wasn't.
hitting him with the shield.
It wasn't the edge of your seat action like in the first Avengers. Like when you're at the edge of your seat, like really, like this is. I didn't feel like that in this movie.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
this movie looked, I think, like visually.
Oh yeah, visually. It was,
Visually,
Yeah, it's good
this movie
looking.
looked great. I think even better than the original Avengers. It looked.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah, I would-
definitely
I would say
something
so.
that they've mostly all Marvel movies have done.
Mhm.
They've looked
Yeah,
great.
good effects.
Good
Um,
effects, definitely. Except for Iron Man 3.
Yeah, Iron Man 3 was just even Marvel probably they just won't even acknowledge Iron Man.
Wasn't it made by Disney? I think it was made by Disney, wasn't it?
Yeah, these all are made by Disney.
They're all made by Disney?
Well, Disney owns Marvel now, the Marvel Studios.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, Disney.
Do they have direct, control? Over
I don't
the
know if they
production?
have direct control, but yeah, they're the ones really funding it and paying for it and everything for these movies to be made. So yeah, so the action was, it was still great, but it wasn't like it had that, like, really emotional, like, this is, like, you didn't feel it, like, you didn't feel, like, why the action was happening. It was just like, it's happening, okay, why? Like
even the Hulk versus the Hulkbuster, Iron Man's cracking jokes. It's just
it's like, you...
I mean, I didn't feel the seriousness of that fight because Iron Man's just like, I'm sorry.
Even as people are being crushed underneath the feet of the Hulk.
Civilians are being killed.
Civilians are being killed. And Iron Man's like, come on, calm down, Green Man, or like whatever he's saying.
Like, come on, Bruce, you gotta work with me. It's just like,
but
what?
So like that dude just died there.
So I guess we could probably wrap this up soon, huh?
Do you want to? Okay, talk about like how it ended, like the
ending.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the very end,
Okay, so they destroy Ultron.
Yes, I guess.
Scarlet Witch rips out his heart, Temple of Doom style.
Temple of Doom style. His heart ripped out, but he comes back.
His whole way
to kill him again.
Yeah, then Paul Bettany finishes him.
If that is the way he goes out, that was so lame. Like,
it kind of was.
That's the way Ultron is destroyed.
Remember, he's like in that ship, and then he kills Quicksilver. Like he's in that helicarrier or helicopter thing.
Is that how he kills?
Yeah,
like
Ultron
shoots him with a minigun.
Yeah, and then the Hulk grabs Ultron, throws him out of it, and then Scarlet Witch kills Ultron because she's like, Quicksilver.
Wait, how did he come back after that?
No, because it was one of his robots. He could transfer himself to one of his little robots.
Oh, okay.
And that's what Paul Bettany finished. I mean, the Vision.
Oh, so she killed like the real one.
Yeah,
and then
she
he
killed like
himself
the real one, and then he transferred himself
to like this half-broken one.
Right.
Yeah.
So then after that happens, then you see pretty much it kind of ends a lot like the first one where everybody's happy.
Well, we know Hulk is just.
Well, no, Hulk like is driving on the ship as Hulk. I mean, like flying away, like all sad.
No one knows where he really is.
He was like all sad. He's like, ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he goes away, so we don't know where he goes. And then you have it. Tony Stark retires again.
I guess.
He at the end of every movie.
He like walks away. Yep. And then Captain America. Like I thought, like they were gonna like not like each other at the end of this movie because I thought Captain America was gonna be like, you created Ultron and look at what he did. But no, at the end of the day, everyone's happy and
like it didn't set up for Civil War enough.
Yeah, and like. Captain America says, "I'm gonna miss you, Tony," and he's like, "Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see you later." And
maybe.
Also, what's with this new Avengers that they're trying to set up?
Right. Captain America's gonna lead this new team with Hulk's not in it, Thor's not in it, Black Widow. I guess Hawkeye is. I don't know if he is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Vision, Falcon, War Machine.
Oh yeah.
Scarlet Witch, and I don't know if I'm
One thing I want to talk about, they had War Machine come in right at the end while they were all fighting.
Yeah.
But that was kind of like, where's Falcon?
He was like kind of.
Why couldn't Falcon and Rhodey come
He was
together?
making jokes too and stuff like Rhodey was.
Yeah.
Also, why couldn't they help during the entirety of the fight if they're just going to come in for the end?
Oh yeah, and then Nick Fury shows up with the shield.
Important business.
His shield back. See,
That's
just
the
a lot
thing.
of things they threw into this movie without explaining anything. They just threw it in there.
Yeah.
So I guess so, and then the movie ends with Captain America saying "Avengers," and everyone thinks he's gonna say "Assemble," and they cut it.
Yeah.
Like, come on, why not just have him say it?
Like they want it to be like you fill in the blank with your own knowledge of the Avengers.
Yeah.
But like, why
those,
not make an old landmark for yourself and just say it?
What about those who have no idea like that saying, which they probably I don't know how they wouldn't, but.
Yeah, I wish he'd just said it because they never even said it in the first.
No, they've never said it before.
And then I think and then after the movie, like there's always a credit scene, and all it is now is just Thanos putting his gauntlet on.
If you want something done, you have to do it yourself.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna do it myself.
And
But
it's like, okay, every movie.
But the thing is, he had no connection to this movie at all.
Except for the Infinity Stone. Now he's trying to get all the.
Well, yeah, he wants all the Infinity Stones. But he at least in the first one, he was the one who pretty much sent Loki to Earth, right?
I guess.
You know, he was the one who gave Loki the staff and I think the army to attack Earth, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
But this movie, he had no connection. You know, Ultron.
No, well, actually, he didn't give him the army. He made an alliance with some aliens. And he sent. Yeah. Remember, he's talking in that space.
Alien. That weird alien.
I just really hope, though, in these future movies, they're not trying to cram so much into a movie because now, Infinity War. Now the next Avengers are going to be 2 movies, so I don't know how they're going to do it. I guess how they're going to explain Thanos is going to get all these Infinity Stones and have the gauntlet. And then destroy everything, I guess. But anyway, so overall, usually when I like a movie, when I know a movie's good, I'll be like, I want to see this movie again. I did not feel like that after this movie. I didn't feel like, oh, I want to see this movie again. I just felt like I've seen this already before.
I feel like when you're in the theater and you're seeing a movie. And after the lights go down, you can pretty much sense in the audience around you whether it was an overall yay or nay. The overall consensus from what I heard is people questioning why they didn't say Avengers Assemble. That's what I got.
I know.
I got a bunch of people saying, what?
He should have said it.
Why didn't he say
why didn't they say Avengers Assemble?
Avengers Assemble. Come on.
Yeah, but I mean, right. I mean,
but it's just Avengers.
I know. It's
Avengers credits.
Just like when do we start?
Yeah.
But I don't know. So I mean, overall, it wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't. I mean, it was still good.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't Iron Man 3 bad. At least it wasn't like that.
It wasn't bad.
I wouldn't call it a bad movie, but I just really wasn't impressed. I didn't really like it.
I wasn't impressed.
I can't say I don't know. I didn't.
It
necessarily.
It wasn't what I was expecting from the trailer, the first trailer.
Definitely not.
Definitely wasn't that. And it just, I don't know. I think they didn't do a great job of explaining the story and, and really kind of, making the movie just very involved with the story or just intense, they're just, it wasn't that just emotional, intense, I guess, action or whatever that you would have thought.
It wasn't the movie it should have been.
Yeah, it wasn't. Because what do you think? What are your final thoughts?
I remember I told myself, if this was the first Avengers movie that came out, I don't think I would have liked it. Even though you see them all together.
Yeah. They just did it right in the first one.
Yeah, they did it right in the first one.
Even
it wasn't great, but it's just a good, fun, solid movie.
Yeah. I mean, there were some things they didn't do right in the first one, but overall, I think...
Overall, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed I saw it twice. It was just fun. And good action,
and
good
even this
villain.
Yeah, and even this movie, I wouldn't say I didn't enjoy it, but I don't know. Yeah, I enjoyed a lot of action scenes, but still, it wasn't. It just wasn't the same as that first one.
It just wasn't the plot wasn't as concise as the first one. It didn't have the clear objective of the enemy, the clear objective of the protagonist.
Yeah.
And then just the clear ending of the movie.
That was so much easier to follow.
Yeah, much easier to follow.
You understood what was happening. Loki's this bad guy. He wants to rule the Earth. The Avengers gotta stop him.
They made it more grounded. This one they just didn't make it as grounded as it should have been. And but now I've always say, should I buy it when it comes out?
Maybe I'll see it again.
Yeah, get it from Redbox again.
There'll probably be a release on Netflix, I imagine, at some point.
You think so?
They had the first one on Netflix.
They still do.
But even I like to buy these movies for the Marvel, to collect the Marvel movies. Now I don't buy ones I don't like at all.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man 3, Thor 2.
Thor 2.
But I don't know. Maybe I will just buy this
because it's Avengers.
To have it.
You still have what's it called though? You have the. The Hulk, the original Hulk,
Oh,
not the one with Edward
2003.
Norton.
Well, we got that a long time ago. Oh, look, like all these
I'm pretty
movies in here.
I'm pretty
like-
sure Dad bought that.
I might
for
just
us.
buy Avengers 2 just to have it, you know, because it is entertaining, but right, it's just not.
What was that dude's name?
Eric Bana.
Eric Bana.
Maybe I'll wait till when it's like in the $5 Walmart bin or something.
Yeah, that might be for a while.
Yeah, probably. No,
Oh
you know
my
what?
God,
Maybe I will
that's
just.
gonna be-
I might. Who knows? Maybe I'll buy it just to see the extended version of it. To see how
That's
they-
true. I would
That's
like
true.
to see that.
But still, that won't change the whole jokes and everything, and too much jokes and stuff.
Maybe it would at least fill in some
Yeah.
spots that should have been.
It would
filled in.
probably fill in about the Thor thing, like with all that. But
Or their dream sequences where they're just not telling you what these sequences even mean.
yeah.
I feel like they should have been sequences, even if they didn't have anything to do with like the future. Maybe it's just something that troubled them. You know, just made them disturbed. Like, I can't focus because I'm just haunted by this image I saw.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That might have been too
I don't know.
dark, but
But I just feel like there should have been.
they shouldn't even have had that whole thing in the movie.
Yeah, maybe
The
not.
Scarlet Witch, the whole mind control thing. I would have rather than not have that.
Because,
at
like,
all.
why couldn't she just control them completely? If she's just gonna...
Yeah, she just gave him like these little images. Just showed him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure her powers allow her the ability to control people completely.
You know what? I honestly would have loved to see in the movie, you know, like, you know, the whole scene where they're all trying to lift Thor's hammer up
Mhm.
and then Cap nudges it a little bit. They should have had it where Ultron is just like
Ultron just comes in and picks it up and kills him.
no. Ultron's just wreaking havoc everywhere, right? And then I know Captain America in the comics, he picked up Thor's hammer. He is worthy of carrying it.
Uh-huh.
They should have had it where like Ultron is like destroying everybody, and then maybe Thor is like hurt or something, and he drops the hammer, and then I would have even loved to see this. Ultron destroys Captain America's shield, because you know how the first trailer they show his shield broken. Obviously, that's just from the.
That was just from Tony's vision.
Yeah, they made it seem like Ultron destroyed it, like caused it because of maybe he had vibranium or something. I would have rather seen that happen and then see Captain America pick up Thor's hammer and like fight him with it and like somehow get the Avengers back. Something like that.
I imagine that will be in Infinity War.
Yeah, they'll probably do that because Infinity War, Thanos destroys Captain America's shield.
So that was the thing that Tony saw. That's
Yeah,
what his
maybe-
dream was.
right.
Like Infinity War.
Right, because what happens is most of the Avengers are dying, and Captain America's like one of the only ones left, and he goes up to Thanos and stands up.
So that's what they're doing. They're just bringing... That's why they're bringing in all these, like,
Yeah.
little name Avengers, so that in the next movie they can kill them all
they'll
off.
kill a bunch of them off.
And then bring back, like, the original.
And then I think, then they'll probably, I don't know what they're going to do, but someone big is probably going to die.
I think we're all just waiting for DC to step in now.
But then
and
DC,
make a good movie.
I would love
Pick
to
the-
see.
Pick up the torch from Marvel as it drops it.
I mean, I would love to see DC make good movies. I just don't see it happening because of the Man of Steel movie.
Because of Ben Affleck.
And Ben Affleck, and they're rushing it. They're rushing it because
Batfleck.
they see how good Marvel's doing, so they're rushing it. So anyway, that's a whole other discussion. But so Age of Ultron really wasn't the movie that we thought it was going to be. Maybe I don't know how you thought it was going to be.
I went in with low expectations, and
it fulfilled your life.
it fulfilled it almost perfectly.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
The whole time you're just like, what's going on right now?
Yeah, Jimmy must have been like, "Shut up! I'm trying to watch this movie."
I went in with good.
That doesn't make sense.
I honestly, I went in expecting good high expectations. Like I went in expecting, okay, this is going to be a great movie, and it wasn't. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have seen it, but But anyway, so I guess anybody who stayed and watched this whole thing, if you whatever you want to say, if you want to comment and let us know what you thought of the movie, and if you want to talk about any of the points we mentioned, feel free. So we thank you for watching, and all of us from Jeremy Lattice channel, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.